What really happened to JonBenét Ramsey on that fateful night in December 1996? The murder of this 6-year-old beauty queen shocked the nation and continues to baffle investigators. After finding a lengthy ransom note in their home, the Ramsey family quickly called the police, setting off a series of events that led to discovering JonBenét's lifeless body in the basement. Despite extensive investigations, crucial evidence was lost when the crime scene was not secured. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged, including the possibility of an intruder or a family cover-up. Advances in forensic science have cleared the Ramsey family but did not lead to any solid suspects, leaving many questions unanswered. And as time passes, the question remains: who killed JonBenét Ramsey, and will justice ever be served? Take a chilling journey with me into the horrific crimes committed by one of America's most infamous serial killers, Ted Bundy. He violently stole at least 30 lives over just 5 years, shocking the nation with his brutal methods. You see, Bundy targeted young women, many of whom were college students, luring them in with his charm and good looks. However, behind that facade was a vicious killer who struck terror from the Northwest to Florida. Suddenly, his reign of terror came to an end in 1978 when he was arrested and later executed. As it turns out, Bundy confessed to a staggering number of murders before his execution, but many believe the true count may be over 100. Join me as we delve deeper into the twisted mind of Ted Bundy and uncover the details of his chilling crimes. Take a moment to reflect on the chilling events of August 1969, when the Manson family, under the influence of Charles Manson, committed a series of brutal murders that shocked the nation. You see, what seemed like a carefree summer in Los Angeles quickly turned into a nightmare as Manson's followers brutally killed actress Sharon Tate and her friends, all for a mind-bending ideology he called Helter Skelter. However, this was not just a random act of violence. It stemmed from Manson's desperate attempts to ignite a race war and prove his twisted theories. Suddenly, the glamorous image of Hollywood was tarnished by bloodshed, transforming beloved figures into victims of a dark, ominous cult. As it turns out, the grip of fear and paranoia seeped deep into American culture, embodying the collapse of the idealistic dreams of the 1960s. In fact, the fallout from these murders continues to influence our understanding of crime, celebrity, and the pursuit of the American dream even today. So, buckle up as we delve into the complexities surrounding the Manson family murders and the legacy that lingers on. The Black Dahlia Murder, a band that has been a staple in the melodic death metal scene since 2001, suddenly faced an unimaginable tragedy when their beloved frontman Trevor Strnad passed away in 2022. However, instead of closing the door forever, the remaining members decided to honor Trevor's memory by carrying on the legacy of the band. Brian Eschbach, one of the co-founders, took on the role of lead vocalist, marking a significant shift for the band that fans never anticipated. In fact, their new album, titled Servitude, showcases this fresh direction and is their first with Ryan Knight back on guitar since 2015. As it turns out, this album captures the spirit of the Black Dahlia Murder while navigating through the grief of losing their beloved frontman. You can hear it in tracks like Aftermath, which embraces an intense post-apocalyptic vibe, or Panic Hysteria, where rock and roll takes center stage. This new chapter for the band is not just about moving forward, it is about celebrating Trevor's life and the impact he had on so many fans.
Take a dive into the mystery surrounding the disappearance of Thailand's Sea King, a legendary figure in the country's naval history. He was known for his love of the sea and captivating stories of adventure. However, during a routine patrol over the ocean, he vanished without a trace, leaving behind a baffled nation. You see, extensive searches were launched, but no evidence of the king was ever found, fueling speculation and theory. Some say he may have been caught in a sudden storm, while others believe he was kidnapped by piracy. In fact, as it turns out, his disappearance became a national enigma, sparking numerous documentaries and discussions that continue to this day. To this day, Thailand mourns the loss of its Sea King, hoping that someday the truth will surface. In a shocking twist of fate, the tragic death of Thai actress Tang Mo has captivated the nation, prompting the Department of Special Investigation to step in for a formal inquiry. You see, there are swirling suspicions that someone might have tampered with justice to shield those involved. As it turns out, her family is not ready to let this mystery fade away, with her brother even reenacting the fateful moment at the very pier where it happened. However, the reenactment sparked criticism as many question the authenticity of this theatrical revival of event. Emotions are running high as 4 individuals stand trial, each declaring their innocence amid a backdrop of confusion and intrigue. Suddenly, new evidence and public scrutiny are thrusting this case back into the spotlight, ensuring that Tang Mo's story remains unresolved. Could this inquiry be the key to finally unraveling the tangled web of her untimely demise?
Take a look at how China's new cybersecurity law is shaking things up for companies doing business there. You see, this law demands that foreign firms comply with strict regulations, like storing user data right inside China. Suddenly, businesses can no longer rely on their traditional practices, and many are faced with hefty costs just to establish local data centers. In fact, the vague definitions around what constitutes critical infrastructure mean that almost any business could be caught in the crossfire. Instead of promoting innovation, this law could put foreign companies at a disadvantage, potentially stifling competition. You might wonder, is compliance worth the risk of exposing sensitive information to government oversight? Well, many firms feel they have no choice but to play along with China's demands, given the enormous market at stake. Take a closer look at the secretive world of Chinese spacecraft manufacturing, because suddenly there are whispers about their impressive advancements, especially with the Shenlong space plane. This mysterious project, which began in the early 2000s, seems to symbolize China's ambition to dominate the space race. But wait, you see, it's not just about reaching for the stars. There are military implications that cannot be ignored. In fact, some experts believe that Shenlong's capability to carry reconnaissance equipment gives China an edge in space surveillance. However, as it turns out, the exact specifications of this spacecraft remain hidden from public knowledge, which only adds to the intrigue. Meanwhile, we must consider how this technology could influence global power dynamics, especially with the United States closely monitoring each move. Could Shenlong and other Chinese spacecraft flip the scales of power in space? What do you think? Take a look at the hidden surveillance technology in Chinese cities that is transforming everyday life into a scene straight out of a dystopian movie. You see, the government has integrated advanced tools such as facial recognition cameras, biometric data collection, and sophisticated sensors throughout urban areas. However, unlike other countries that primarily focus on national security threats, China is using these technologies to monitor almost everyone. Suddenly, every step you take can be tracked, every meeting can be watched, and your identity can be grabbed in an instant, all in the name of safety and efficiency. In fact, cities like Shanghai are at the forefront of this surveillance race, boasting millions of cameras and intricate data networks. As it turns out, while people may believe they are enjoying a smarter city, they are actually living in a highly monitored environment. So, what are the implications of this surveillance technology on privacy and freedom in urban life?
Take a look at the eerily quiet streets of Banglamphu, where a shocking series of murders has left both locals and tourists in disbelief. You see, 6 hotel guests were found dead, and authorities quickly believed it was due to cyanide poisoning. However, the mystery deepens as investigators reveal that one of the deceased is suspected to be the orchestrator of this ghastly act. In fact, all 6 victims had reportedly been embroiled in a money dispute just before their untimely demise. Suddenly, the serene facade of this bustling area turned into a crime scene, prompting a manhunt for the suspect involved. Now, police are left scrambling for answers as they piece together the chilling events that unfolded within a luxury hotel. As it turns out, this case is not just an isolated incident, but part of a larger story that might involve powerful interests seeking to silence dissenting voices.